Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Doctor Who review, episode number 132. Well, this is going to be not very long one per se, because reviewing a novel adaptation of one of the episodes I have previously reviewed. This one being Doctor Who Resurrection Daleks. And you're thinking, Eric Sayward, why is his name so familiar? Well, because he actually wrote this particular story that this novelization of. He also did basically the following story as well, which I made in a future video. So, he did mention, I heard in an interview, that he basically made a lot of changes to, he made more changes to this one than he did for, the next one he did. I'll discuss it probably in a video when you can view it. Mostly put, it's virtually almost the same story, except there's one big subplot he expunged from here, and that was the double agent thing that happened about toward the end of the serial. They just randomly happened. Yeah, that's expunged. Because that's replaced with, there was a scene in the actual episode where him talking to, I think it was, like, he's talking to a human plus a Dalek. The humans were expunged. And he's talking to the beta Dalek. Yeah, the first was the beta Dalek in here. Also, when Daleks first show up, and Tegan, I remember in the original story, she never asked about Daleks if the Doctor knew who the heck these people are. Like, why didn't you tell me who they are? It's like, I wasn't planning to keep a secret anyways. I never planned to, it wasn't a secret. I was going to tell you eventually. Which kind of makes sense. Also, like, if you watch the original story, because it's mentioned Attack of the Summer, he does know who Lytton is. And you watch the original story, it's like, he shared one scene with Lytton. Here, he does know who Lytton is. My guess is Eric Sayward has probably been called out for that little bit of line of dialogue. I'm sure people have probably mentioned him over the years, but he probably felt as though, yeah, probably should have us more than like one tiny scene when they're interacting. Yeah, so here they interacted. Lytton gets virtually the same dialogue. It's like, I'm reading the book, I'm like, where is Lytton? And like, oh, there he is. Appears halfway through this book, because it's a Target book. The book itself is not very long. Yeah, for a novelization, it is not very long. If you're curious, this book is only 179 pages. Like, wow, that's really short for a book. By the way, not the first novelization I've reviewed for my YouTube video series. I did review some of these books for my novel reviews. Yes, remember those? Yes, the series I've since discontinued. Yes. Why did I stop them? Probably because basically the three primary series reviewing them, I pretty much gave them all a separate review series, so I can just review them separately. Yeah, so I have reviewed, so let's go through my adaptations I've done so far, for my now reviews. So aside from this one, of course, the only books I reviewed is mostly the Brigadier books. So, mostly put for the novel reviews, I mostly review just, Star Trek. I viewed a couple of, like, Fear Street novels. I did this a long time ago. Okay, so what is the first Doctor Who novelization I reviewed? The very first one I'm looking at right now. The very first one was The Web of Fear, which I still need to review the episode itself. I've also done Genesis Daleks, which I enjoyed that book. I remember from the book itself, they made zero changes from the actual episode. It was like virtually the same. Doctor Who and the Zebri. Doctor Who and Dinosaur Invasion, The Visitation. So that's 5. I should probably make a list, basically, of Doctor Who novels I reviewed. Battlefield. Twice Upon a Time. And that's it. So, this is only the 8th book adapted from an actual story I reviewed. Do I mind reading these? Not really, no. I enjoyed this. even though I watched the episode itself, like, I look in the case of some of the other ones I reviewed, in the case of, like, Battlefield, Genesis Daleks, where versional change from episode to book. This one, there was changes. Mostly put some dialogue and they explained the subplot. But it is a good book overall. Eric Stewart did a great job writing this. Yeah, it's something, though, the fact he did this, because I found about this in an interview recently, a while ago, before I got my other book, which I got at last Comic I went to, where these two were apparently the only two Dalek stories from classic Doctor Who that never got a novelization. And then he was approached to do these novels. He agreed to do the novels, no problem. And he basically, the other one, he made a little bit of changes. He made more change. He did more effort with this one than he did with the other one. And he wrote both stories. And if you're curious, though, for Eric Sayward, like, how many episodes did he write for Doctor Who? You may have heard of these episodes. So, did he write any other one? Of course, there's another one, but it's in the future. Of course, he is still very much alive. He is no longer doing anything with Doctor Who currently. So he did Visitation, watched and read that one, Earthshock, Resurrection Daleks, Fixed Hearts, and Revelation Daleks. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so I have reviewed, of course, I did Visitation, which did that one, and I now did this one. So, in the case of novels that he's written that I still need to read and review, is Twin Dilemma, Slip Back, Attack this Time, and Revelation Dalek, which I have next to me. Slip Back. It is not an adaptation of the show. It's one from one of the audio dramas. So, got a few books left for him to do. Yes. It's something, though, that when it comes to Eric Sayward, he wrote two of, in my opinion, two of my favorite Dalek stories. Resurrection. Revelation's up there. I do love Resurrection. It's something, though, that my first classic Doctor Who story I watched was one he wrote. Yeah. This book came out in 2019. They give first names to characters who appeared in the story. Stein. Yeah. His first name is Raymond. Elizabeth Stiles. Patrick Archer. Elizabeth Leonard. Graham Carter. Tyler Mitchell. And Fabian Osborne. Oh, and they have a ship called the Babe of Moore, which they name in the book. And Linton's first name. Now, he basically... Yeah. Also, they put a code in here, and of course, they also have a year that the future stuff, the space station takes place. It takes place in the year of 4590. Oh yeah, and the cover for this one, this came back in 2021. So. Also, they put a code in here. What happened? It kind of happened with Tegan after she left the TARDIS, where she is confused. And, of course, they bring up in the book that if you tell people in the 1980s that there's aliens around, they'll lock you up being a lunatic. Yeah, the Clement saying, which, yeah, that probably is true. And of course, see her running away. I felt this was because basically the story ended, because the original broadcast ended with just the TARDIS dematerializing, and that's when the story ended. With it dematerializing after Tegan sees it. It's like, missed them, and the book picks up right where Tegan left off. It's sort of a coda, which I thought that was really interesting, the fact they get it for Tegan of all people. The fact that on the show itself they did not show exactly what happened just afterwards. Which, yeah. Overall, this was just fantastic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and basically, they have her jump on a boat in this book. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wonder how Jenna Fielding felt about the ending of this one, where they added this whole thing of basically her going on a boat. I would love to hear. Like, I've never asked her about it if she ever read this book. If she has, I would like to hear her thoughts on the coda, what happened with her character, just as soon as basically the credits roll, because right after she has missed, that's when it's instantly the credits roll. And here they just have her basically. She runs away from Linton's policeman, hops on a boat, and that's the last see of her. Yeah, and apparently she does return chronologically after this in a audio drama. Yes, which I need to listen to at some point. Yeah. There's a audio drama known as The Gathering I probably need to get a chance to listen to. Apparently it seems like it's a Cyberman story. Yes. Yeah, it's a Cyberman story. That should be interesting. Yeah. I may listen in the future. Who knows? Okay, so that's pretty much a particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, to notifications. Next up, it was a Comic Corner, and then it's on to One Piece. Okay. Next video. Bye.